Chester, West Virginia, three-time NCAA qualifier, All-American 2 years ago, fourth nationally, and first at 165 with 7 pins this season against the defending national champion Keegan O'Toole. And he won that natty last year with a win over David Carr from Iowa State. If you're a wrestling aficionado, you know that man's resume.
Right? I mean,
these guys did not come here to mess around.
No, you know, they're not giving away wins, right? I mean, this is a...
Hall knows that O'Toole is going to be active. O'Toole is 3-0 all-time against Hall, so these two have history.
So you see O'Toole really grabbing hard on the Hall's wrist, which means he can't get his hand free, which has made it a little bit tough for him to sort of get around that corner that he was trying to do. Wasn't able to.
When you're wrestling someone for the fourth time, Tony, what do you look to do? Do you look to do what you do best, or do you look to, how much of your approach do you base on the last 3 times or where you are right now?
Well, a little bit of a combination, but what you have to do is your stuff. You got to get to your spots. Maybe the reason that you didn't win the other matches is because you didn't get to your places, right? And so it's about figuring out how to wrestle your part of the match. What spots do I like to be in? What ties do I like? What kind of things do I like to do? And how do I make sure that I get to those spots more so than the other guy? Because that's the competition, right? Whoever adapts faster to things and gets to the place where they want to has the best shot of being successful. And
Hall's head coach Tim Flynn said he liked Hall's focus against Oklahoma State. He was pretty dialed in. He also says he's got to wrestle a perfect match here against Keegan O'Toole. Finishing shots will be the key, says Tim Flynn. Has the leg there. There's the finish and a 3-point takedown for Peyton Hall.
But look what you see O'Toole doing right away. Grabs the wrist, circles in, is back up on his feet, and gets the escape right away. But a nice job.
And that's what his head coach Brian Smith said he was going to do. He said if he gives up points, he shakes it off and moves right on. As he continues to do here, can Hall roll out of this one?
See, Hall does this thing with his leg that just
looks like it's going to hurt, yes.
Yeah, it just makes me want to.
Yep. Right there with you.
Yeah, ouch.
That hurts.
Really, oh, my goodness. I almost don't want to even show replays of that. You know what I mean? It's like, holy cow, don't do that.
So, I didn't have one, but my brother had a Stretch Armstrong as a kid.
Yeah, right, holy cow. So, we were talking to Brian Smith about that exactly. He says, O'Toole, I mean, he'll give up a takedown sometimes the first one of the match, but that doesn't deter him at all, man. He's still right after it, right on it.
That's elite mental toughness, I think, Tony. The ability to just slough off that kind of adversity. Forget about it, put it past you, and move past it right away.
Well, this time, you see O'Toole playing around with where his head goes. Hall doing a nice job, too, here.
Hall drives with the legs. Hall to his feet. The takedown for Peyton Hall.
Takedown.
Late in the first period, Hall has a 6-1 lead on the defending national champion. They come to their feet, but this Coliseum crowd already beat them there.
Just a nice little elbow, goes to the other side, does a great job of beating O'Toole around the corner, gets the takedown there, but you see O'Toole does a nice job of just not stopping, coming in, and shoots right back at him. Hall then a nice job in the scramble before. I never even heard the whistle there, but I assume they blew it because they're both wrestling.
If you look at wins, Peyton Hall has more in his career than Keegan O'Toole. Hall with 89 career victories, O'Toole with 74. Winning percentage, O'Toole has the edge on Hall.
Well, here's the reason O'Toole has probably fewer wins than a lot of other people. He's in the finals most of the time.
And he's a junior, Hall's a senior.
Yeah, he doesn't lose on the back end a whole
Right.
lot, so he's not fighting through the back end of those brackets where you get a lot of extra matches a lot of times. He's staying on the front side. So what do we have here?
Looks like they're maybe discussing a caution for, oh no, it was blood.
Blood?
Trying to see which wrestler they're concerned with. I don't see them cleaning up either guy.
I guess they're going to review something.
Tim Flynn thought he was going for the referee there, and instead he's coaching his wrestler.
I got nothing. I have no idea what they look like they're reviewing.
Was there a smack on the head?
I don't know. I'm not sure what the review is for. Slap.
We're told they're looking for a slap. 10 of O'Toole's 11 wins this year are bonus point wins. He's 11-0.
So if they're looking for a slap that nobody's noticed except them, I don't know why. I don't wonder why the official is.
This is what we think may be what they're looking for. Notice O'Toole's head. O'Toole's head hit Hall's chin on the way up.
It's just wrestling. I don't know what they're looking at with there. I don't know why we're taking this long break over something that nobody knows what the heck they're looking for.
It's not basketball looking at flagrant 1 versus flagrant 2, you know?
This is your premier match. Let these guys wrestle. I don't know what the issue is. There's nothing.
This is what the people came to see.
Yeah, right. And that looked like an example of the officials inserting themselves in the match where they don't need to.
Quite literally, no harm, no foul. We wrestle on. Hall with a 6-2 lead. Interesting how both of those guys stayed far away from one another. Hall looking at the mat, just trying to stay focused and stay within himself. Shoots a couple times. O'Toole fights him off. A mental and a physical reset, Tony.
Yeah, you know, on the one hand, you're talking about that, like we get caught up in sports, like with momentum and things like that. When you get these stoppages, you got to go reset yourself and get going. Nice shot by O'Toole, and Hall's got him, but there's close to a takedown. Hall does, if he can lift it. O'Toole's in a pretty good spot too. He's got to keep his head sort of down and pressure him in. O'Toole trying to pop up again. Tries to throw him over the other side.
Hall sticking to O'Toole's
Hall is
back.
trying to get O'Toole's arm and see if he can roll him backwards.
His neck is in a really bad spot.
And that's why you do all those bridges.
Hall continues to work through.
O'Toole's in a good spot to get a takedown here.
Hall continues to work this. 13 seconds.
And there's the takedown.
There's the 3 for Keegan O'Toole. That'll narrow this to 6-5 as we go to the third period. And oh, what a third period we're going to see between Peyton Hall and Keegan O'Toole.
I mean, a pretty good match, huh? Pretty good match.
Not the first tonight, surely not the last.
So here's the issue. So Hall's down. He's got 21 seconds of riding time, which means O'Toole would have to ride him all the way out just to get a riding time point, which is probably not super likely. O'Toole's got to try to turn him. Looks like he's going to do optional start, let him up. We're going to be on our feet here shortly.
Yeah, O'Toole's style is not the ride him out for this minute and whatever it'll take to get that riding time point.
So that's the one thing of those optional starts. You got to be a little careful. The guy's not going to try to jump in front, try to cradle you, do that sort of thing. So 7-5. Minute 45 left.
Again, riding time at the current time, not an issue.
So like we said before, both guys, keep your feet moving, keep yourself in good position, don't stand up too much. O'Toole does a nice job of getting down on the ankle. Hall sort of left it sitting there.
Hall's second leg gets swept.
Well, O'Toole wasn't able to capture the hip very well, right?
What kind of offense do you have to have here if you're Hall to finish this off? You can't leave yourself exposed. You can't make a mistake. But what kind of offense?
Well, right now, you see O'Toole like reach behind his back, try to grab Hall's foot so he can't get it down. Oh, there's a wizard. He doesn't. O'Toole slips it, and there's the takedown.
O'Toole with the lead. Got to be careful for the wizard, Tony.
So there's a minute left. So O'Toole going to try to probably ride him out if he can. He's got the ankle hooked. Even Hall trying to work to get to his feet.
Even if he rides him out, he's not going to get the riding time point. An escape here would tie the bout.
Yeah, but he doesn't need to. All he's got to ride him out, and he wins by 1, right? So, but Hall's got to get himself out of bounds. Well, he kind of crawled out. I'm wondering if they wants to call that. Yeah, they wanted that stall warning for that. Got 35 seconds left. You got to restart here. Every restart's a bit of an advantage sometimes to the guy on bottom as opposed to fighting your way through a different thing. So,
crowd at the Coliseum gets behind the senior from Chester, West Virginia, trying to come back and win a bout that he's led most of the way against Keaton Hall. Or against Keegan O'Toole.
Mixing names there.
Yeah.
Down to 20 seconds left. O'Toole just really trying to hang tight and stay close.
He's denying Hall from getting to his feet.
Well, you see him clamping on his ankle. Right? Hall gets
Hall to his feet. 7 seconds. Hall rolls on top of O'Toole.
A lot of time. He's going to call for lock and hand.
1 second left. Tim Flynn wants a point here somewhere. Whether the escape or maybe a reversal, he's going to chuck that brick. The officials aren't discussing this. There's the brick. The brick hits the official. What exactly does Tim Flynn have issue with? So
what he's trying to say is the hands are locked, and the question is whether when they become unlocked, does he then get himself an escape point and they go to sudden victory. So that's what he's asking him right now, probably to review. We were a little blocked because it was a little like away from us a little bit, so I couldn't really see it from our vantage point very well. I did see both guys talk to each other, slap each other's hand, right? So here's the issue. So down here, so right there the hands are locked. So he's counting that because he's got his hands locked on the leg, which you can't do. What we can't see is where the time is. And the question is, when he pops free there, when he pops free and he breaks the lock, is that an escape or not? Tim Flynn's going to try to make the argument that it is, which is going to be right here. Is that an escape? Well, a lot of times going to say no.
And the clock is going to weigh into this too, because when did those hands split?
So he splits the hands, but O'Toole still has his leg, right? So
there's the buzzer.
There's the buzzer. So I'm going to say they probably don't give him the escape, especially since they didn't rule it an escape initially.
I'm not picking sides here, but the wrestling fan in me wants to see overtime.
Right.
I want to see more of this.
I'm going to say they're going to say no point score.
And
so 8-7.
The review is not upheld. The call in the match stands, and Keegan O'Toole wins for just the second time this year without a major decision.
That was a heck of a match.
Peyton Hall gave him everything he had tonight.
You said, well, what's the difference? Like that last shot, getting down on that ankle. Hall does just a nice job most of the time, but man, O'Toole gets on the ankle, drives through, finishes the thing eventually, wins the match. Heck of a match.